Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? This is Zen from Zen Multiverse, and I hope you're having a great day. So today we are talking about the powers of the Marvel Zombies for powers discussed today.
You will never amount to anything. We shall see, brother.
So the Marvel Zombies first premiered in Ultimate Fantastic Four number 21, and that was created by Mark Miller and also Greg Land himself. So in terms of how the Marvel Zombies came to be, we're not too clear about their zombification, right, so to speak, or lack of better words, but we do know that they have traversed different universes in order to fulfill their appetite, right? Now, to speak about just the physiology and then getting into the powers, the physiology for someone who has turned into a Marvel zombie is basically that they go through a constant state of decaying, right? Their body is decaying. It's also constantly malnourished. But one of the things that differ from the lore that we know about zombies, just from stories and things of that nature, is that the zombies in the Marvel Universe do retain their personality. So you might ask the question, if they're retaining their personality, then it should be easy for them to overcome. No, right? And the reason why is because they have their personalities, right? Which when they turn, right? Imagine Spider-Man, he turns into a zombie. He still has all of his memories and things of that nature, but he is now his mind and his body are now craving flesh, right? What type of flesh? Basically any sentient life flesh, right? We could say humans or even aliens themselves. And that overcomes him, right? That overcomes that instinctual hunger is what overcomes the personality, and thus makes the Marvel Zombies a threat and a sight to behold nonetheless, right? So getting into their powers themselves, they have immense durability, meaning that they could take some hits, right? Now, remember when I said that they're in a constant state of decay, and it also means that different body parts, even though it's durable, they can lose limbs, right? Again, what's different from zombie lore is that even when they receive big damage, right, to the head, right, or yeah, to the head or to where the cerebral cortex might be, or the central nervous system, they will still move, right? They'll still move. And this is shown in one of the comic books where we see Captain America and also Deadpool, who are shot in their head, right? Primarily Captain America, but half of his head is gone, but he's still able to move around and talk, right? He talks about, see what this kid did to me, basically. So other than that, any of the Marvel zombies that were superheroes or even villains that did have powers, their powers are retained, right? So they don't lose any of their abilities and powers, and they also have their personalities, right? For some of those heroes and even villains, their powers have been augmented because of the zombification. For example, Wolverine, right? We know that Wolverine has heightened senses to one of the highest degrees, but because he is zombified, he now has even enhanced senses, meaning that he could smell flesh from even farther than he could before, right? Why? Because it's now compacted with his instinctual abilities, right? And he has to eat, he hungers, he wants to go after, right? So now his senses are even heightened too, right? One of the other I would say augmented, right, or changed abilities would be Spider-Man, right? He's able to shoot webs from or shoot veins, right, instead of like webbing and things of that nature, right? So for some of them, they're not more powerful, they're just different forms of ability that are now augmented, right? Or changed rather, because of the combination of the zombification and their already honed abilities. And for some others, their powers are exactly the same, right? What other powers do they have? That's pretty much it, right? The powers don't really go any deeper. It's really just the zombification combined with their powers and abilities. But what takes over, right, is their instinct, right? Their instinctual nature to feed, right? Do they want to feed? Yes, they want to feed, because here's the thing about the physiology, just going back to it, is that they're literally in a constant state of pain, right? And that makes sense if they're in a zombified form where they're constantly malnourished and they're constantly in a state of decaying, that their flesh and their body and their personality literally feels it all the time, right? So when they eat, right, when they feed on flesh, it does bring it down, right? It brings it to a state of like, right? Uh, it's a sad story, right? When you really think about it, because these heroes who's always been saving people now have the need to feast, right, and to eat. And there's one of the comic books when Spider-Man himself, when he eats Mary Jane and or he feeds on them, Mary Jane and Aunt May, he feels bad, right? It's not like he feels like, oh, I'm hungry. Like, he feels sustained, but then he still has his emotions, which make him feel rather horrible, right? So just imagine that if you are forced to be a zombie and you're forced in a situation where the only thing you can do is eat the flesh of the ones that you love, right? So it's a really sad story. The Marvel Zombies is a really good story. I've read the most recent ones. I think the one shot, and also that miniseries that premiered, I think came out in 2020. Maybe I'm wrong about the date itself, but it was pretty good. And I hope to see more. Now, those of you who watch the What If series on Disney Plus know that there's going to be a What If series what if episode where the Marvel Zombies are here. So if you wanted to know just a little bit about it, this is the video for you. But with that being said, this is Zen from Zen Multiverse, saying peace, love, and prosperity. If you're enjoying the content, drop me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you all later for the next video. And let me know, who do you want to see another episode on Powers Discussed? Let me know. Later, everyone.